around the ball there, and I've got a very wide grip, which obviously through years the fingers expand and there's more elasticity to the finger, which will come through bowling lots and lots of spin bowling. But that's the technique now.
Tell me, Pat, does that change at all, say in slightly wet weather or anything like that?
Yes, Bob. I find when I'm bowling in wet weather and I've got a very wide grip and the seam has gone wet, it's very difficult. It sometimes slips on the ball. So what I try to do is I shorten the distance between the two fingers and just roll the wrist and not spin the finger. Just roll the wrist so that there's not that accent on a wet seam. And I find I've got more control.
Right, that's interesting. Well, there you are. Two thoughts on the grip, but basically they're both the same. What you're trying to do is make the seam hit the pitch, turning so that it moves from off to leg. And he needs momentum to drive him through the crease. The difference between a quick bowler and a spin bowler will be in the follow-through. The quick bowler drives his force down the wicket, while the spin bowler must create a spinning motion. This is known as the pivot. Notice Pat's front foot. The bowling arm works across the body to create this movement, while the front arm initiates the forward motion. Pat, you enjoyed taking wickets as an off-spinner. What's your favourite tactic?
Bob, as an off-spinner, I like to be pitching the ball up fairly full, trying to go between bat and pad and hit the top of off stump, asking the batsman to drive through extra cover. Right,
let's have a look at that. Okay, so you're looking to pitch here, about here, and the batsman's going to have a look at the big gap between the extra cover and backward point, and he's looking to drive the ball for 4 through there. You just drag him out, the ball's dipped a little bit hopefully, and it's turned and come through the gate and bowled him. And that's brilliant. Now, if it doesn't turn, Pat, what happens then?
Right, Bob, if it doesn't turn, we'll be looking for the ball to be pitched there. Instead of going through there, possibly going straight, either getting the edge, going to slip, or actually beating the bat. And in him leaning forward to play a shot and dragging, there comes the stumping. And you can see his foot moving out.
Off-spinners are an important component of any side in either attack or defence. If you are mainly a batsman, take up off-spinning. It may keep you in the game. I often ask the question, there are 2 types of spin bowling. Gerald, can you tell me what they are?
Leg spin and off spin.
Leg spin and off spin. That's close, but not quite right. What I like to use the terms wrist spin and finger spin. Now, the leg spinner quite often uses his wrist because he has to conceal the difference between a leg break and a googly. Okay, so let's have a look at the basic grip for a leg spinner. I take my first and third finger and I run it down the side of the seam. I then fold my hand round the seam there so that it sits at the top of the palm. Rest my thumb on the side of the seam and I'm ready to bowl leg spin. What I have to do now is to remember that I have to open a doorknob, and I do that from right to left so that the ball will spin away from the batsman. Okay, that's the basic grip. I've got with me Adam Huckle, who's a leg spinner. Adam, how do you hold a ball?
Bob, I hold it differently. I mainly hold it on my second finger there.
And do you get the same purchase with that grip?
Yeah, it seems to be fine.
Good. Okay, so there are 2 ways in which to hold the ball. And it's important for you to remember, when you grip the ball, that you're going to spin the ball from your right shoulder to your left shoulder. That's very important, so you're going to do that. Try and spot the difference in the wrist action between the leg break and the googly. You can see that with the googly, the ball is delivered out of the back of the hand. One of the simple ways of learning this skill is to start by getting the grip right and then just rolling the ball underarm to a partner. Watch. I get my hand here, start it on my right shoulder, right knee, and as I turn it, I go over to my left knee. Okay, so watch carefully, underarm, and just spin it. See how my hand goes with the spin. Okay, and again, and like that. That's it. Okay, once I've mastered the art of doing it underarm, I then go to round arm. Same thing, just turn the hand over so I can spin the ball from right to left. Again, and turn it over and it spins. Okay, now when I've mastered the round arm art, I will then go to the full extension of overarm. So again, from here, and just spin the ball like that. Okay, so overarm and there. So you must master all three arts: underarm, round arm and overarm. And you'll find that leg spin bowling is one of the great trades of cricket. There are so few around that if you master this art, you can take a lot of wickets. All bowlers, and especially spinners, need patience and the ability to take punishment from the batsman.
It's obviously difficult to tell. I think perhaps not.
It's my pleasure to introduce Clive Eckstein, who's going to come and talk about the art of left-arm spinning. He has a distinct disadvantage to the right-arm off-spinner in that he has to normally bowl to right-handed batsmen, and if he does so, he has to bowl over the wicket and therefore cannot get LBWs because of the laws of cricket, which states quite clearly that you can't pitch outside leg stump in order to get an LBW decision. Clive, how do you deal with this?
Bob, there are two things that I really look, two main things. One is the angle of my delivery. I'll vary it from being wide and coming closer to the wicket, or from behind the crease or a little bit further in front without going for a no ball. And the other is my pace. I will try and bowl it a bit quicker or try and get it a bit higher above the batsman's eyes and there force him to make a bad fault.
Okay, Clive, well, let's see you demonstrate that for us. Okay. Let's have a look at Clive bowling these variations. First ball, quick and short, making the batsman play back. Field it, Francois. Second ball, crease, same speed, delivery, but fuller, bringing the batsman onto the front foot. Okay, he's setting him up now. Bowl two from wide, now he's going to bowl one from close to stumps and back behind the crease in order to try and upset the batsman. The next ball is slower and higher, nearly drivable in length. And the batsman, tentative. Now Clive's going to just go wide again, he's going to bowl an arm ball, just to see how the batsman deals with it. An arm ball bowled quickly. Watch it bounce and come into the batsman. See how that ball's rushed onto the batsman, putting him under pressure. Now we can sense the batsman's frustration, so Clive bowls this one slower and wider. Enticing him down the wicket, the ball turns and we have our stumping. The last ball is bowled slower but straighter and turns, and could have been caught at slip. Remember, the slower you bowl, the more you allow the ball to turn. He's tossed that up. Oh, it's a great bit of bowling there. He's taken the outside edge, and if he'd had a slip in, I think that might have been out. That's turned. You see, the little bit slower you bowl, the more it turns. Another variation the left arm bowler might use is what we call a Chinaman. Sounds a little bit Far Eastern, but not really. Well, actually what it is a left-hander's leg break, okay? So instead of bowling an orthodox ball as we have been doing, which is the off break, okay, we bowl the leg break. And therefore it's just like a leg break and actually turns into the right-hander as an off break. Now this is something that takes a lot of practice, not easy to perform, and something that you'd have to work very hard in order to achieve. Please note, there are 4 videos in this series covering all aspects of this great game of cricket.
This presentation was brought to you by Permanent Bank, dedicated to the development of cricket in South Africa.